Okay, what's up YouTube? It's your boy Spawn Killer, and today I'm going to be giving you guys an updated guide on Takeda. This guide is specifically focused on Takeda's mistakes, and I'll be giving you guys tips on how to become better with the character, the setups, um, whenever you're in mid screen or maybe at the left side or the right side of like the screen. Like I'm talking about the corners. If you're in the corner, like with your opponents and not against your opponents while at the corner, I'll give you tips on like setups you can go for that will favor you and give you more frame advantage, and so on and so forth. So let's get started. So the first mistake I see a lot of Takeda players making is this. They spam this a lot on neutral, which is very wrong. I am not going to be like excluded from it, because I was fond of this habit. I was really doing this a lot. I was really doing this a lot, and the reason why I was doing this a lot because I had that thoughts in my mind whereby, oh, my opponent can't really do much against me and stuff like that. So after getting punished a lot for it, and like learning from my mistakes, this is not really a good button to throw out there consistently, because you will get punished and you will lose your turn for doing stuff like this. Because if I should set limit to, you can see that she punish it. So you really want to be careful whenever you're trying out there, trying this stuff out there. You really want to be careful. So the second mistake I see a lot of Takeda players making is this. Like they go for the normal Shuriken. They just keep spamming it, zoning, because it's a good zoning too. Should your opponent block it and then like dashing on your face, to be honest, you don't really have much frame advantage, because you can't do this and then dash back and then go for stuff like this, because that is the habit I was making, and then I had to like correct that habit. So you don't really want to be spamming this, and whenever they come close to you and they are blocking, and then you just go straight into this, you will get punished for it and you will lose your turn. And the downside to this character is that he doesn't have a good defensive wake up option, and he doesn't have any good fast mid that can like give him the upper hand should his opponents maybe go for a move that is like maybe -7 or -8 or whatsoever. So long as it's within those range, Takeda can't really do much aside poking his opponent. And poking characters like Lmao can get you punished, because Lmao has a um special move, a 7 frame special move, reversal, that can punish any move that is above -7. So yes, you guys should take note of that, guys. So what it looks like is this. I don't think Lions East is, I don't know if it's this. Wait, I'm trying to check if it's this. Um, uh, is it this one? Yeah, that's it. So you can see that they may punish this in the pool. So you really want to be careful how like you put stuff like that out there. So the next thing I want to talk about is the setup. Now the setup, I see a lot of Takeda players still going for the classic setup with jacks, because these days I normally see Takeda players using jacks, Takeda sector, Takeda tremor. But if in a scenario whereby you're using Takeda jacks, I've seen a lot of Takeda players doing this in 2026, and to be honest, I will not really recommend you go for this setup consistently, because there is a lot of downside to this setup. Because should you go for this and then you try to like jump and detonate the shuriken, aside jumping instantly, oh my god, aside jumping instantly, to like detonate the shuriken. Aside jumping instantly and doing this, there's a big difference because this is instant and this is not instant. Should you go for the setup and then decide to like jump and delay your jump to do this, the opponent can either jump or maybe armor through to like punish you. People like Johnny Cage can go for Rising Star and it will punish. People like Melina can go for Iboru and they will punish you for that. Who again? I think Cyrax too can like she can punish it and you will lose your turn. So I would not really recommend you go for that setup. Instead, um, what I will advise you go for is this. You can see that um I still have enough frame advantage while coming down to still pull this off, to still pull this overhead off. I still have enough frame advantage to like come and then pull it off. So whenever like you're going for a setup, I feel like that is more reliable because if you notice most pro players right now, pro players like Roto, Lavender Rain, Ayate, Zyshok, and also for so on and so forth. They normally play Takeda Jacks, um, and they normally go for this setup. They normally go for this setup and then do whatever they want there. And there's a lot of mind games you can go for there because the opponents can't really do much. The opponents can't really do much there because their counter options are like they are limited now. They are not like increased to a point where maybe you're losing the wager or stuff like that. Now with this setup, like you get you get a much better like frame advantage and stuff like that. I'm the one that delayed it. I didn't execute it perfectly. But should you execute it perfectly, then the mate can't wake up armor on you. So I'm just going to do it again so you guys can see. See that she can't. I still have enough frames to like wake up and then punish and stuff like that. So you really want to go for setups like that. It's going to really help you guys a lot. Like whenever you're in the mid screen. But for me, sometimes I like going for this because, as you can see, my opponents. Why Jax gives Takeda the Jax area grab gives Takeda a very good Oki, gives Takeda Oki, so that's why Takeda is able to like for the setup and possibly go for a double shuriken setup and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of mind games you can, and there's a lot of like offensive options and other ideas that you can just go for. You just have to just like practice and like find some text for yourself, stuff like that. So with that being said, there's one more. So whenever like Takeda is in the corner with his opponent here, like if you're playing Takeda and you are here against your opponent standing here, which is the me, I feel like Takeda is very strong in the corner because of this. Oh my god, Takeda is very strong in the corner because of this. Because whenever this is here after a knockdown, so let me just show you guys an example. My opponent can't do much there. Our opponents can't do much there. I did it too early. Our opponent can't do much there. So you really want to make use of the EX Shuriken whenever you're in the corner against your opponent, because it will force your opponent to like respect you. Sometimes it forces them to make decisions, and sometimes they win the wager and sometimes they don't, because um 80% of the time that they tried going for this, I know that based from my own experience, 80% of the time that they normally go for this, um I normally go for this rather. 80% of the time I normally go for this. My opponent makes a lot of mistake, like because I force them to make a decision. So um you really want to play Takeda that way, because Takeda is like that character that he normally goes for the setups and then force his opponent to make quick decisions, and should they like fail to make the right decisions, he can punish them for it. And whenever you're punishing your opponent, you really want to punish them very, very hard. So take note of that, guys. So the next thing I want to talk about is the block strings you can go for whenever you're in the corner or maybe mid screen. So you really don't want to go for this, like I said. You don't want to go for that consistently. Instead, Takeda's forward 2 is very good if you're around this range. Sorry, it's very good if you're around this range. And should they try to like dash in on you, this is going to catch them off guard. And this on block is plus 15, which can jail into your forward 1 should you time it right. So take note of that, guys. This jails, this jails. Since this is plus 15, you can jail it with your forward 1. Your forward 1 starts at 13 frames. So long as this is um plus 15, you can jail this with your forward 1. So take note of that, guys. So long as like you're controlling the space, you can also go for, oh my god, you can also go for stuff like this, and go for stuff like this. You can also go for like just stagger the back 2, stagger the back 2 into EX Shuriken. Just stagger it. I'm going to set this guy to block. So this and this, oh my god, and this, you can get punished for that. You can get punished for this because your opponent can armor out of that. But this is much more safer. This is not that safe. I will only advise you go for stuff like this if maybe your opponent doesn't have enough meter. Let me say they have like 1 or 2 meters. You can go for stuff like that. Then I think his back tree is also good. His back tree is also good because you can catch your opponent off guard if they are trying to like dash in on your face or maybe dash back. You can catch them off that. You can catch them off guard with that, and this is easy to hit confirm. This route is very easy to hit confirm. So you really want to go for stuff like that. Now, whenever you're in this range, you don't want to like just auto shimmy, because this is Takeda's auto shimmy, a very good auto shimmy that starts at 7 frames, and the second button comes out at 11 frames. So it is very good auto shimmy. You can like put in a lot of mind games, stagger your standing 1, then grab your opponent, because Takeda is also a strike throw character, so you really want to be grabbing your opponent a lot. So just take note of these guys. I'm just trying to like rush everything, because really not like um free this current period, because I have a lot going on and I'm busy with a lot of things. So I don't really have that much time to like come online and then play games and do stuff like that. So you really want to be going for stuff like that. Now, if you notice, there's this string that Lavender normally goes for whenever he's in the corner with his opponent. Like, I'm talking about block string, Lavender Rain. If you know him, he normally goes for stuff like this. Oh my god, I'm supposed to turn this off. Normally goes for stuff like this. He normally goes for stuff like that. So you really want to like use this block string you really want to go for this sequence because this is a very good sequence on block. Because if you do this without the shuriken being on the floor, if you go for it, is +7, and the reason why it's +7 is because of the shuriken being under your opponent's feet. So if you're going for stuff like this, it's +7. You can drill this off with your standing one. You still have enough frames to like dash back and punish your opponent should they try to like poke you if you don't drill this off properly. And there's really not much your opponent can do about this. After a knockdown, there's really not much that they can they can do about this because this is +10. So this leading into why if you're doing this on whenever your opponent is waking up, like you go for the overhead, and then you go for this. This is -1 without the shuriken. You can poke out of it or maybe just do whatever you feel like you want to do depending on the games you've played with your opponent and like the conditioning and stuff like that. So you guys really want to like go for stuff like that if you're like playing the character. And what next? Yeah, I think that's just about it. So the best setup I would advise you guys to go for is stuff like this. So let's say I go for this, right? And watch guys. Now you see that I still have enough frames to like block and wait for my opponent. And while I'm waiting for my opponent, the normal shuriken with the EX shuriken is here. So should my opponent try poking me or like just hammering out of it, so long as I like execute this perfectly and my opponent try to hammer out of it, it will punish them. So let me give you guys a good example of what it looks like. Now take a look at this, guys. You can go for stuffs like that. It really helps in the corner because Takeda is very strong in the corner because of this setup. After a knockdown, he's very strong because the opponents, they are either forced to jump or block or armor out of it. They can't really do much. They can't even throw you because if they try throwing you, it's just going to like detonate them and still give you enough frame advantage to like um convert the combo. So here's what it looks like. First of all, I'm going to set this here. I can grab my opponent and then I didn't time that right. You have to like really time it right. Oh my god, I didn't time it right. Okay, you can get stuff like that and like just convert it. You don't get much damage, yes, but at least it gives you the upper hand to go for small setups and you can just loop it and go for a different setup and then force your opponent to make a mistake because they will not just sit down there and like wait for you to like do whatever shenanigans you're just throwing out in the corner. You want to like do something about it to get out of there so they can take their turn and then pressure you. So you really want to go for that, guys. And also if you're playing Takeda Jacks, I will always recommend you go for this. Oh my god, I always recommend you go for stuff like this because this is very good. Should you go for a setup like that, you can this this oh my god, so the Oki gives Takeda enough frame advantage to like jump in, like a safe jump to jump in and then break his opponent's armor. So um few characters can escape that sequence, the double shuriken sequence that you just saw me do right now. Excuse me. So few characters like I think Ashra, Johnny Cage, General Shao, and Havoc. Characters like that can, like they can escape the setup. Then I think Omni Man and who again? Yeah, I think that's just about it. But the rest of the cast, they can't really do much about it. Scorpion can't do anything about it because it breaks their armor. So I'm going to show you guys what it looks like now. So, oh my god, I'm going to go for a much more. I don't know why this keeps dropping very close to me. Oh my god. It keeps dropping close to me for some reason. Like, why? Like, what the fuck, bro? You can just go for stuff like that, and because of the mistake they made, should they have like maybe one bar and or maybe two bars and they waste one of the bar, you can punish them for it, and like their life is just gone just like that. So you really want to go for setups like that whenever you're in the corner against your opponent, because there's a lot of mind games you can play off of that, and like just condition your opponents well enough for them to like respect you, and then just win more games off of that. So take note of it, guys, and I hope that this setup and like the block strings and um the mistakes I've mentioned can like help you guys improve and like get better with this character. So yeah, and also I forgot to mention another block string that you can go for that really helps is this standing 4. Standing 1 4. Standing 1 4 really helps. It helps a lot. Because sometimes you can like stagger your standing one, and then you try to like catch your opponent off guard if they are trying to like duck or maybe trying to like press, and then you catch them off guard with the auto shimmy. You can also, because while they are doing that, sometimes like they can stand block and um block low, and the reason why the block low is because Takeda also have a string that like that is an overhead. So there's a lot of mind games you can play around, like the auto shimmy. You can catch them off guard while standing, while they are standing, and like they are blocking while standing. You can just catch them off guard with that, and you can also catch them off guard with this, and just stuff like that. You can catch them off guard with that. And while controlling the space, I won't advise you go for this, as I've said earlier. Takeda has like the longest pack in the game, so you really want to go for stuff like this whenever you're like in a very good distance against your opponent, because Lmao can't punish me. Oh my god. Lmao can't punish me if I do this. You see that this is minus 14. Let me turn this off. Minus 16 depending on the distance. This is minus 14 depending on max range. It is minus 13 and minus 14 depending on max range. But because it's minus 14 and minus 13 doesn't mean that you don't have enough range to like recover. Johnny Cage can't punish it. Johnny Cage can't punish it. I've checked myself. Like I've checked if listener, and I've confirmed it. Johnny Cage can't punish it. Omni-Man can't punish it. Any character with a very fast armor special move can't punish it, because Takeda will still have enough frames to like block. So you really want to go for stuff like that on block, just to like check your opponent. But you don't want to do this up close, because you can get punished for it, because you won't have enough frames to like recover and block. You only want to put this out there whenever you're at max range against your opponents, and just like check them and stuff like that. So Another thing I want to mention is like the standing one. Standing one is a good button for anti-air. If your opponents like jumping in on you, you can just use your standing one. Sometimes I like to backdash and catch them off guard with my forward one, and also sometimes I barely make use of this. It's mostly my standing one and my forward one, but this is also a very good button to catch your opponents off guard if they're trying to jump in on you. It's a very good anti-air button. So take note of all what I've said, guys. I hope this video helps you guys, like improve and like get better with the character. So happy new year and have fun, guys.